There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello BookTube, I'm Sean the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel. Here I am in my library, the corner of the apartment where most of my books are housed. And with this section, because there's a winding staircase to my right, is very cavernous and thus the acoustics suck. But I have a husband who just couldn't drag himself out of bed this morning. He's been doing so well going to work or getting up early to work at home, and just today he just crashed and he deserves it. So here I am, and I'm actually fairly pressed for time because I have a doctor's appointment. Oh, I just see how precarious. I moved my book haul books out of the way. I won't show you because I want you to watch my book haul in a few days, but I haven't made the video. But I moved the stack of books onto the little table where my computer used to be, and they're now sitting very precariously on a bunch of papers and electronic gadgets and electric cords, and right beside them is my cup of coffee. This is just a Friday Reads catastrophe waiting to happen, so let's make this short. Oh my god. I've had a good week, reading week. It's been great. I'm into a routine now when Kenji and I are both working at home, which is happening more. He's working half-time at home and half-time at the office. He says he has to go to the office every day this week. I don't get this country. But when he's gone, I very guiltily feel like, oh, I can have the place to myself for a day. But he should be at home. He should be. Nobody should be going to work. Anyway, I've kind of made my peace with that, and I only go out for doctor's appointments and to the supermarket, except for one cafe lesson twice a month. And that, my oldest student is in that class, and she tried the online lesson with me last time. She didn't like it. She is much younger than me in spirit, and she goes out without a mask, and she's never retired, and she wants a cafe lesson. So we're doing a cafe lesson twice a month through the pandemic. I can't stop people from being who they are. And if you hear that lovely tinkle in the background, that's my rice cooker ready, and I have to throw my salmon on the grill in a couple minutes. Don't forget, Sean, so that as soon as I finish filming this, I can eat breakfast and dash off to my doctor's appointment. So, I mean, Japan is still nuts. It's getting slowly better. Some of the supermarkets are making some attempt to do physical distancing. They're putting markers, maybe I said this last week, putting markers in the line for the cashier, but they're only 1 meter. But it's not uniform. I was at the one that's closest to my house has been doing that for more than a week. And last Sunday, Kenji and I went, and they were actually controlling how many people were allowed into the large supermarket at one time, which I thought was really good. I went to another location of that same chain supermarket, 10-minute walk from here, and they didn't have any of that. They didn't have markers. There was no physical distancing whatsoever. So I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but it is slowly getting better. The laughable first response of Prime Minister Abe Shinzo about a month ago was he ordered his government to mail every household in Japan 2 reusable face masks. Actually, there's been some conflict. Are they reusable or disposable? Nobody seems to know, but it's taken this long. Apparently, they're starting to get delivered now. And I just saw on Twitter this morning, one of the New York Times correspondents for Japan tweeted that they have been recalled because they're defective. Some of them are arriving dirty and they're not up to standard, so they're asking us to send them back. So yeah, Japan is a fiasco, what's happening in this country, but I'm in my bubble. I'm reading, I'm teaching online. The teaching online is going well, although everybody's online. So the internet is a little bit sketchy. I'm doing okay. I'm keeping safe and carrying on. So that's probably the main purpose of this Friday Reads, is to tell you that, because I don't have a lot to say. I started 2 books last week. My salmon is being grilled. 6 minutes on one side, 6 minutes on the other, and I will probably be finished this because I don't have 12 minutes worth of bookish readings related news. But I am starting my day right with my coffee out of my Prince Harry mug. Do you know in Japan they call him Henry, Prince Henry? They have no idea who I mean, my Japanese students, friends, when I talk about Prince Harry. They say, oh, you mean Prince Henry? I said, no, it's not Henry. Jesus. Anyway, stay there. My book haul tower it's a tower of doom already. It's gonna doom my cup of coffee and me. Waubgeshig Rice's indigenous dystopian novel, Moon of the Crusted Snow. I'm about a third of the way into it on audio. I'm not enjoying it, but I'm gonna finish it. It's genre fiction, so I don't like it because the characters are not coming to life at all, and it's just a story, maybe adequately told, but I know what kind of a story it is, so I don't need to finish the book. Most of the people are going to die, or the situation's going to get worse and worse, but I don't care about the people. So that's my beef with bad fiction of any kind, but all genre fiction. And that's probably too broad of a brush, but this morning I don't care. You can at me, I can take it. There's aspects of it that make me want to know more about Indigenous life in the far north of Canada, like in northern Ontario in particular, because there seemed to be a hint in the story that those people had been pushed out of central Ontario a century or two before into the far north to get rid of them, to make way for like the city of Toronto or something. And I need to know more about that because that was news to me if it's true. But yeah, it's not very good. And I have just gotten a bare start on this memoir, My Father and Myself by J.R. Ackerley. This is a buddy read with Greg. We're going to check in once a week on Mondays, I think. And 2 chapters a week. The first 2 chapters are really short, so I read the first one in about 15 minutes yesterday and really enjoyed it. I think I've shared the opening of it with you before, but let's hear it again. So this is a memoir about him and his father, and it's kind of a gay mystery, autobiographical mystery. It's really, really good. I read it decades ago. So here are the first 2 sentences. I was born in 1896, and my parents were married in 1919. Nearly a quarter of a century may seem rather procrastinatory for making up one's mind, but I expect that the longer such rites are postponed, the less indispensable they appear, and that, as the years rolled by, my parents gradually forgot the anomaly of their situation. Yeah, it hooks you from the first lines. And I haven't finished anything, and I haven't bailed on... I don't think I've bailed. No, and I haven't bailed on anything. But I have been really sinking into the books that I have in progress. I am here again to make a public service announcement extolling the virtues of slow reading. I'm reading so many fantastic books right now, and they're all slow. Some of them are going to take me 3-4 months to read. I am setting a deadline now. I want to finish pretty much everything up by the end of May because I'm doing the BookTube Prize semifinals judging in June. So I want to basically have a clear slate, or more or less a clear slate, by that time. So my buddy reads for May, none of which I will probably have started by the time I film my Friday reads next Friday, it being May 1st. I'm going to try to get those within the space of a month, not, 7 to 8 to 12 weeks like the buddy reads I'm doing right now. Oh, and if you're buddy reading a collection of short stories with me, don't panic. I don't need to finish those up by the end of May. I don't want to. Short story collections are the ideal buddy read for me because a story a week, it takes forever. We get to chat and check in once a week about the story and keep in touch and let the stories sink in and kind of percolate inside. And for some of them, I read the story twice, once at the beginning of the week and then once at the end of the week before I check in with Britta. That's the Carol Shields collection. So yeah, I'm having a really great time with reading. Some of the time I am still distracted by what's happening in the world, what's happening in my world, but less and less. I'm doing quite a bit of reading and quite happy with my reading life. You know what? That's all I have. So this is a quick and dirty Friday Reads. I hope you're all well, and I expect a full report in the comments below. Thanks for watching.